Hello, today is the 16th of August 2025. As always, we'll start with our disclaimer. We'll go over our calls and then make our predictions. This is my trading plan for Monday. Monday is the 18th of August 2025. Remember, it's a plan. I can always change my plan. My plan can be completely wrong, and please trade at your own risk. For the next 2 weeks or so, I'm not going to be able to follow the market as closely as I normally do. And remember, I may not be risking my own money on these calls during that period. We looked for the pattern with the early low, but said even though it was normally a bullish pattern, that wasn't necessarily going to be true. We had the early low as predicted, and it wasn't a bullish pattern. This is a review of what we said. We said it doesn't always follow the straight rally pattern. We were looking for lower prices and said something was wrong if we didn't get them. We got lower prices, and we were sticking with a call for the top. August 18th is Monday. It has the early low pattern. It's also a Caroline turn date. There's a 3-day leeway, which means yesterday's new all-time high is within his window. Remember, the higher this number, if it works, underlined and in capitals, if it works, the higher the number, the bigger the drop. These don't always work. We said that we thought this high would hold, and we looked for lower prices. We actually beat that high by about 1 point. So far, the call is a miss by 1 point. You can call it a miss if you like. It's pretty close. We also look for lower prices, but we gapped up smartly. I have a rule that says if we gap sharply in the undesired direction, it kills the call. So even though we got the drop, I get no credit because we gapped sharply in the undesired direction. During the day, early on, we had an ultimate sell signal with an optional higher target. We got the drop, satisfying the ultimate sell, and MEJT said there was a false move. We then got the higher prices when we traded up, so that worked. In the afternoon, we got an ultimate sell with a higher target, and that worked again. Well, here's the strong resistance that we have. Now, we have this as a ABC for a wave blue 2. The A is completed. We have an ABC with good fibs right at the high, which is 64.8134. Now, if this is the right count, we should have a wave magenta C, which has some kind of relationship to magenta A. So if we draw our Fibonacci grid, as high as 56, 69, 67. And then we slide this over to the all-time high. We should stop at one of these numbers. Now let's look at this 59, 19, 80 number. You'll notice we have an unsatisfied MEJT target at 59, 16, 20 from back in June. So that is essentially the same price, and there's a support level. And then if you take the whole of the rally from the October 23rd low and draw a Fibonacci grid at the Fibonacci 23.6%, that's about 59.20. It's all at the same price. So we have balance of the waves around 59.16, 59.20 cash if this is the right idea. And that doesn't mean other numbers aren't going to work, but it's a reasonable target, and that's about 500 handles lower if this works. The fibs all work. we have the DeMark sell signals 9, 13, 9 in combo and sequential. When these work, and again they don't always work, but when they work, the 9, 13, 9 is a very bearish pattern, so that's compatible with a big drop here. We have the Carolan F27 number. When these things work, the bigger the number, the bigger the drop. We have the wave count. As long as recent highs hold, I mean, we could drop 500 handles from here before this is over. Now again, if these highs don't hold, the whole thing falls apart, and that we don't know yet. But that's the reward, and the risk is that we take out these highs by a significant amount. Let's review our counts. I mean, we have blue A and magenta. Here's B with C, with good ABC with good Fibonacci. So we're looking for a magenta C. If this top holds around 59.20ish. Let's look at this late rally from earlier this year in April. It counts easily as an ABC. All these fibs work. Let's look at the last rally. I mean, it's not too hard to count this. All these fibs are perfect. I mean, just because these numbers work doesn't mean something else won't. But if you're going to try to call a top and you want everything to balance out and have time, price, DeMark all balancing out, they're right here. You know where your stop is. It's taking out these highs by a reasonable amount, by a significant amount. We have lower targets. Now we should take this low out at some time. We came close. And when you come close, that uses up the support that hitting the target normally provides. So if we do take this out Monday, I don't think support's going to hold. We have the 64, 35, 37 price target from earlier in the month. That wouldn't be too hard to hit. We're pretty close now. It should print at some time. And as long as we keep dropping, I don't think 59, 16, 20 is out of reach. And that would leave one failed price target for the year 2025. That's about par for the course. These numbers print. Monday's pattern has a really low regardless of where we open. The failure of Friday's normally bullish pattern to rally, if maintained, and Monday's opens a bearish pattern, so long as recent highs are not violated by a significant amount. The wave count, the Carolan date, and DeMark indicators are compatible with a pullback, and one reasonable target's around 59.20 cash. Now other numbers aren't ruled out. This is early in the game. It's kind of hard to carve this in stone, especially when a rally here would just kill the whole idea. But if we do start dropping, I think that's one of the reasonable targets, and I think it's a pretty reasonable target. And once that's hit, I think it's off to the races on the upside again. We should be near 7,000. I think probably by the time the year is up, or at least early next year, I think that's what my target is. So it is the pattern with the early low. These are the patterns for next week. As long as we don't take these out, I think it's a long way down. We just need some more confirmation than we've had. I'd be happier if this drop from here were a bit more impulsive than it's been so far. There's always the chance the call's wrong. That's always possible. But if it's wrong, I don't think we're going to lose too much. And if it's right, the rewards are great. And that's today's call.